Hi, everyone. So the link for evaluations will be posted in the general channel, which is where this video will be as well. Since we don't have a meeting this week because it's Thanksgiving, and since I usually like to state my case as I would in a face-to-face context, I'm going to state my case here in anticipation of the evaluations that are being posted. Now, for the record, I don't give any extra credit, any sorts of bonuses for evaluations. I think that that skews evaluations. And as you all know, we don't want to introduce bias into performance evaluations. And professors can sometimes do that when they reward extra credit or bonuses or what have you for students introducing evaluation or giving extra credit, or sorry, for doing evaluations. So putting good IO practices into what I do, I'm not going to offer any sorts of bonus for doing the evaluations. It's really up to you and your own volition to do it. The link, as I said, will be posted in the channel, so you can look for it there. Now, I just want to remind you all before doing the evaluations of what was said at the beginning of the semester, namely that students find this class to be challenging in terms of, gendered expectations. They had certain ideas about my clothing and that I don't, also put enough on my slides. Now, thankfully, I don't think my children appeared in any of the videos that I recorded, which I tried to do and be diligent about, given, that we are living in a pandemic. But, these are just some of the things that I gave you fair warning about and was really upfront with you all about how this class is a challenge, and that it can be it can require a lot of effort for certain students. That being said, there are some students who find this class really enjoyable. I've had some students say that this is one of the best classes they've ever taken. Now, of course, that's pre-pandemic and pre-online teaching, and so I acknowledge that there are limits to probably the effectiveness of my teaching in this online format. And so I acknowledge that technology was hard. It was hard for all of us. And, I tried to be understanding with you all as much as I hope you tried to be understanding with me. And so I understand that the effectiveness of my teaching is limited by this online medium, and that I hope that that is something that will be, considered when you're giving feedback, because I do appreciate, constructive criticism, but much like you can't control technology issues, I can't control some of these things either. Now, I just also want to note that, I listened to your feedback at the middle of the semester and did make some changes based on what you all had to say. I gave longer time for quizzes, more time to submit your activities, shorter activities, reminders for quizzes, and more pop culture. So I did listen to what you all had to say and made some changes that, I do think actually made the class more enjoyable. And so I really appreciate that kind of feedback. And I once again hope that that's the kind of feedback that you all can give me in these evaluations, because I'm the kind of professor who every semester makes changes based on what her students say within reason. I can't make my class easier because that, degrades the value of the class and the value of your degree. And that's something I absolutely refuse to do, because I'm here to give you guys a good education. But things about the methods of doing that, things that are within reason, like, a little bit longer time for quizzes, or manage the expectations around how long it takes to submit activities. Those are things I can do. Those are things that won't degrade the value of this class and the value of your degree. So I really appreciated that feedback. I made those changes, and I would appreciate, the same kind of feedback, same kind of ideas, practices that you saw in other classes that worked well, that you thought maybe could have been implemented here. I would love to hear what your other professors are doing. So what didn't I change? I will acknowledge, there were some things that I just kept throughout the entire semester. I was generally very available. I had office hours every week. Only a handful of you took advantage of that, and that's totally okay. But, every Tuesday I was sitting here ready to go, ready for people to pop in for office hours. I was also, I did office hours outside of that for the activity to make sure you all were on track. That was, something I was committed to doing and happy to do, and something that didn't change. Now, some of you may be displeased with the extent to which the high standards in this class, the grading expectations, and the types of quiz questions didn't change so much. The reason I did that is because I'm very much committed to the idea that this class should hold you to high standards. And I believe that all of you are and were capable of achieving those standards. I don't think it's that anything that I expected of my students was unrealistic. And in fact, based on what I'm looking at in terms of the grades that are probably going to be posted, at the end of the semester, the majority of you, I would probably say about a third, are going to walk away with grades in the B+ to A+ range. In fact, multiple of you, I'm fairly confident multiple of you will walk away with A+. So this class is challenging, but it is certainly achievable. And if there's effort put forth, then students will pass it and do very well, in fact. So that's why I also don't change my grading and my standards, because I know that they are achievable if students just take the time and the effort to work towards them. Now, of course, that's not to say that if you struggled this semester that it's because you aren't capable or you didn't put forth effort. Absolutely not. It is a pandemic. It is a time of social upheaval and strife, and that can make things hard. But I was generally always available to listen to students. And as I also said at the beginning of the semester, if you had any issues, you could come to me and we could try to find something that would work in some sort of arrangement. And so I was always, available and willing to try and find proactive ways that students could succeed in the course. And so I do sincerely hope that, that availability and that willingness to work with students was something that you all saw. So where can you access your evaluations? They're on Brightspace, or you can just go directly to this link. As I said, I will post it in the channel. And like I said, the reason I'm doing this in a video is usually when I tell students about evaluations, I try to point out, here's my theory of the case. Here's my theory of my performance, acknowledging some areas where things could have been better. In this semester, it was particularly related to technology and having students being able to engage with the activities. I understand, and that's something I'm going to work on in the future. But I also believe that, there were some really great things about this course, the use of pop culture, the preparation that I put into everything. And so I really would appreciate your feedback, things that you saw in other courses that you think could be improved, things that you appreciated in this course that you think I should keep. As I said, I listen to my students, I make adjustments in future semesters, and your feedback can really help me. So thanks so much.